Hello and welcome to my channel Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and spirit directly through channeling about what skill or talent would bring you the most fame. And I have 7 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, this will be group number 5, this will be group number 6, and this will be group number 7. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can just pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then head down to the description box below and find the timestamp for your particular group and click on that, and your reading should appear in front of you. And while you're down there in the description box below, make sure to check out my guide on how to book a personal reading from me. It's always a pleasure doing personal readings for you guys, so please check that out. But let's focus on this reading right here, right now, and pick your group, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose the Waite Tarot deck. And I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1? What skill / talent would bring group number 1 the most fame? Which one of their skills or talents would bring them the most fame? Okay, so I'm sensing that writing is probably the skill that would bring you the most fame. I feel like you're very good at writing, you're good with words. And if you wrote a book or something, or if you became a journalist or something where you could express yourself with the written word, I think you could go very, very far and get potentially quite famous. So. I don't know if it would put like, I'm not gonna talk about something negative here, but because this is a positive reading, but I'm just sensing that this could make you famous. Your writing skills could make you famous, but I kind of feel like for some of you, you might want fame, but I feel like fame would maybe make you a bit uncomfortable. So I feel like there's an ambivalence in this group where I feel like I think you want to become famous, or you want to be renowned, or that you want to be remembered for something. You want to leave a legacy. You want to make a footprint on the world, so that like you have something that can show as a bit of a trophy for all the hard work that you have done, or something. Like I think you want to be acknowledged for what you can do, and for the way that your mind works, and for your imagination. And I think there is something about, like, I feel like you don't want to just go through life and just live this mundane life where it's like, I don't think you like mediocrity, but I feel like you also probably don't feel very comfortable within the attention, like getting attention from people, being asked a lot of questions from people, having to constantly having to like I think being like a public figure or like public property, like I think that would make you very uncomfortable. The feeling that everybody feels that they can just come to you and ask you questions and that you are somewhat obligated to answer those questions. I think it is a bit stressful for some people to be an author. It's kind of this thing where it's like, it seems like the perfect job for an introvert, because they can just sit at home and write. But there's just so much more to the whole job of being an author. Like the publishing company, like they want the authors to do interviews and do public speaking and all of that. All of the things that actually are very uncomfortable for someone who probably only likes to write at home in front of a computer. Like so I feel like this could make you famous, but I feel like you also have to ask yourself whether that is the kind of fame or the level of fame you actually want, because I'm not trying to make you stop writing if you're in the process of writing right now. I think you should finish it and you should publish it and you should get that bread and become and I think you could also do it under a pseudonym or like a pen name if you wanted to keep anonymous in some sense, and you can also put your name on it, and still and make a deal with the publishing company and make them behave and not send you to all kind of venues to talk and speak about your there's definitely I think you could customize it for your for your needs, like, or what you like, or I think maybe I don't know. This wasn't what it was supposed to be about, but I just felt drawn to somehow tell you or warn you that maybe this is a dream you have, but you have to take into account that there's a sort of lifestyle that comes with it that might be kind of a bummer, actually. But I don't know. But I definitely feel like if you wrote books, you would probably get quite famous. Because if Spirit wants me to tell you this, it must be because there's an actual chance that you could actually make it big, so that you know that. So I'm kind of sensing that this is actually something that could potentially make you very famous. So if you are very introverted, maybe a bit socially anxious, maybe consider writing under a pen name, just so that you can keep your privacy. And it might also make it a bit more comfortable for you to actually write the books that you are maybe in the process of writing right now. You might have some drafts of books or book ideas that you just haven't made into a reality yet. but you might have all the basics there. Like you have, I feel like some of you already have written a lot. And I think maybe what's holding you back is the fact that you kind of know that like the minute you send it to a publisher, things are gonna change for you, and maybe subconsciously you're afraid of this change that could occur if you actually published a book. So maybe it would help you with the process, help you dare to write some things that you wouldn't dare to write under your own name, because you're maybe afraid of offending someone, or maybe writing about someone that might have an uncanny resemblance to someone in your life, and maybe you feel like, oh, if that person knew that you were writing or that you were inspired by their personality, then they would maybe freak out about that or something. So there might be some things that you would be more comfortable with if you wrote under a pen name. So that's just something I'm putting out there. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say about what skill / talent would bring you the most fame. Queen of Wands. I feel like with this card here, there is a cat here, a black cat, and so I feel like black cats are kind of like a symbol of maybe it could be a symbol of two things. It could be a symbol of the witchy world, the more spiritual world, and so or not necessarily spiritual but witchy. Like it kind of has that association to witchcraft or something like that. So I feel like some of you might be interested in writing about witchcraft, like or maybe writing a book that can take some of your experiences with witchcraft or the spiritual world and somehow, or that you can use those experiences to write this book. So I feel like, and I feel like you could do that. I think you have a lot of experience with the spiritual, and so just getting that integrated into the book, make it into a part of the storyline. That could kind of, I think that would be cool. Like Harry Potter, like something like that. I don't know. I feel like you could write something similar, or yeah. But the cat, the black cat, also makes me think about unfortune, or the opposite of fortune, the opposite of luck, unlucky, and so I feel like this is not. This is what you could. What could make you famous, and so I feel like maybe writing about unlucky people, or writing about people who have it, who don't have it as easy as some other people, like writing, writing about people who live on the streets, or who grew up in a bad neighborhood, and or something like that. Writing about people who didn't have as much privilege, or as much, like just like yeah. But yeah, or writing a children's book about, maybe about children who have it differently than others, like maybe something that some children can mirror themselves in, something that might not have been covered in a lot of children's books. Like maybe I know that this is probably, I don't know, but like taking a theme or taking something like children who like, I know that like I don't know if this is for children or for teenagers, but writing books for teenagers about struggling with body image or struggling with something like that, struggling with parents who are alcoholics or something. I don't know, something that where it touches a group of people who, and might help them find their voice in or find a way to cope through difficulties or something. I don't know. But I'm also with the Queen of Wands. I feel like you're also very funny. I think you have a very funny way with words. I think you're very good at writing serious stuff, but also funny, or making it a bit not funny, but making it comical, or making it in a like taking something dark and kind of making light of it sometimes, but still with the proper respect for the actual theme. But I think you know that how to distinguish between the two, between being like, I think you know how to do this. I think you're very skilled at writing, and I think you're very skilled at writing in a light way, in a way where you can actually make people laugh, even through the tears, like while you're touching them with your words, emotionally, and then also put a funny spin on it, so that it's not all just heavy stuff. Okay, so with the Knight of Wands, I feel like your the skill / talent that would bring you the most fame is definitely your way of being direct. I think, and I think that is something that maybe you could also use that in other in other lines of work. But I feel like in writing, especially writing books and stuff like that, it is a very good skill to have, to be able to write directly to the reader, like being able to truly capture the reader by addressing everything directly to them. Where I feel like when you write, if you have been writing some stuff, I think you're very good at thinking about the reader, the person who's going to read it. That you see that you're able to, like, I feel like you're not just you're not writing in order to impress. You're writing in order to create a reaction in the reader that's gonna make the reader feel different things at different stages in the book, or in the like that you constantly think about how is this gonna affect the reader, how is this gonna make them feel, and I think that is that kind of makes me feel that you're maybe also an empath. And so I think you could use that you know how, and I think you might also have some psychic abilities, like that you're able to see into the future. And so I think you're able to put yourself in the shoes of the people who's going to read your works in the future. And I think that's definitely something that you should take advantage of, because that is a very great skill, a great talent to have. So with the Hermit reversed, I think what could bring you the most fame would be to get out of your shell. I think you might isolate yourself a bit, and maybe you're a bit afraid of putting yourself out there, afraid of the criticism, afraid of people. Like, maybe you have a bit of a people pleaser gene, where maybe you're a bit afraid that people are gonna hate it, or that people are gonna take things the wrong way, or that people are gonna. Yeah, I think you're maybe not that afraid of people hating on you. I think you're more afraid of people telling you that you ruined their life or something, or that the book was terrible and was a waste of their time, or that somehow something that, if you feel like it's something where you didn't manage to please that person, or that because I don't know. And I think that is something that might be holding you back. And I think at the time where you're, like, I feel like one of the steps towards fame is definitely to put yourself out there, because you're not going to get fame unless you get out of your cave and get out, or your cage. That you're locking yourself in symbolically, that you're maybe you're a bit afraid of success, maybe afraid of the things that can come with it, and maybe it is. Maybe it is a valid fear, and also, as you probably have psychic abilities, this anxiety, the fact that you know that it's kind of valid, that there is something real within this anxiety, that you know that if you actually put yourself out there, it could actually make you famous. And that is scary. It is scary to think that maybe you could go international, have international fame with this, and And so maybe you have been isolating yourself, or not really. I don't think it's isolating yourself, but it's maybe that you have this gift, you have something, you have this talent, you know it because I think you have been writing a lot of things, and I feel like your computer is kind of filled with files, documents that you have written 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and I just feel like you're not putting it out there, and that it's because you're afraid that you're going to regret it, that it's going to make you feel claustrophobic, or that you're going to feel like the whole world gets so narrow because suddenly suddenly somebody in France might be talking about you, and you're like, hot damn, like how can, like, it can seem very scary to some people, and many people, I think most people actually find that quite scary, but I think it might be an anxiety that you have because you kind of feel deep down that this could actually happen. I feel like those people who don't actually have that feeling might be a bit more like more careless, but I think you don't have the privilege of being careless because you know too much, and yeah. So with the Page of Pentacles and Page of Cups both being reversed, I feel like the two these the most the skill or talent that would bring you the most fame is also your ability to not follow the money. That I think in everything you do, I think you do it, like in all the things that you have written, I think I don't think you do it because of the money that you could get out of it. I think you do it because of the legacy that you can create, that you can somehow make a difference in the world, like touch some people's hearts and give people some feeling of not being alone in this world or something like that. I feel like you're not, and I think that is maybe one of the things that could actually bring you the most fame, is the fact that you're not constantly thinking about what could make a profit, like what could be the most, like, and like you're not writing, like, I think the first book that you're going to write is probably not going to be one of the typical themes. Like there are some themes that writers can write about, and it usually gets some kind of attention, just because there's I don't know, it's something that is in high demand or something. Like you could probably write a I don't know it, but I feel like you have an idea that is actually quite unique and hasn't been done before. So that is very scary to do. Like it's scary to put something out there that hasn't been done before, because you never know how people are gonna react to that, because you don't have any proof that it could, like, because you can't compare it to something that actually had a lot of success, because it's so different from everything you know, and everything that has been put out there. So I think but yeah. I kind of feel like some of you might have been thinking about writing in a different language than the language that you speak daily, your mother tongue, or the language that you're most fluent in. I think you have been thinking about writing in a different language, maybe because you feel like it's easier to self-publish if you write in English or something like that. I feel like that is maybe not the best idea for you if you want the most fame. I think it makes sense to kind of go international with it, because that is where the fame is going to be. But I feel like you don't have to write it in English in order to get international fame, because you can always get it translated. So I feel like it's maybe better to choose the language that is either your mother tongue or the language that you're most fluent in. Because this card here, this Page of Cups, it's a man or a woman, a young man or a woman talking to a fish. And of course, this is not the same language that they are speaking, because it's a fish, and fish don't speak whatever language the human is speaking, not necessarily at least. But so this card came out reversed, and so I feel like that was just what I was getting from the card, is that I think you should write in the language that you know the best, that you have the widest vocabulary in, and where you are completely certain about the grammar. Not that I think it would be tanking, like I don't think it would tank just because you would write it in English. I just think maybe it's also better, like if you're living in a country that is not that doesn't have English as the native tongue, native language, then like maybe some of you are living in a smaller country, and sometimes it's easier to get fame in a smaller country because there are less competitors. So to go on Amazon and self-publishing in English might get you to the bottom of the line, like you're maybe or not the bottom of the line, but the last one in the line, like because you're competing against so many others, and it might you might end up being flushed out, maybe because some of the others are better at like selling themselves, or like that it might be hard to get in that market, but it might be easier to get in the market of your own country, if you're from a different country that is not an English speaking country. But yeah, with the Hierophant, I think there might also be something about religion, writing about religion, writing about religious beliefs, and maybe making a bridge between spirituality and traditional religion, and somehow kind of making some kind of book about that. Could also be a good idea if you have some very good insight in maybe both the religious world and the spiritual world. or the spiritual community, I mean, and and maybe a religious community. Maybe you were brought up in religion, and maybe you have recently become a member of a religious community, or gone more to the local church or something. I don't know. I feel like some of you might have some ties to a church or to a religious community, and so that there could be something interesting in writing about that, about your experience with both religion and spirituality, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose the Wonderland Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2? What skill or talent would bring group number 2 the most fame? Okay, so I was seeing a chessboard in the channeling, so I don't know if some of you play chess, but if you don't play chess, I think you should, because I feel like you could compete in chess. Like you could go like to like big chess championships and probably win quite big in, like, if you want to compete in chess. If you don't want that, then that's probably specific for some of you, but I think you could actually get a lot of fame if you started playing chess on a competitive scale, because I think you have a great mind. Like, I think you're very, very clever and very good at strategizing, very good at seeing the bigger picture, good at seeing opportunities, and just good at planning ahead. And I think if you're not into chess, I think you could use that skill in other fields as well. I think that could bring you fame in many different ways. Like, I think if you started in politics, like if you got into politics, I think you could probably get quite far in politics. You're probably also the person that would be a very good leader in any type of situation that is like, yeah, like a war situation. Like, I think you could be a very good strategizer, or like someone who strategizes the next move, and like knowing what the opponent is going to do next, and then like having a counter offer ready. Like, you could also get into law, being a lawyer, and you could get famous through that also. But I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say. about what skill / talent would bring you the most fame. Queen of Oysters, which is Queen of Pentacles. So I think, well, this woman has a very big mouth on her. So I think anything like, well, Queen of Pentacles, she is a very, very planning person, like a very stable person, very she's very security minded, so she's a planner because planning ahead creates security and stability. And so anything I think you could also get quite far in starting your own business, starting your own consultant business, or something where you consult people, where you strategize for people, where like you could be a business consultant and help businesses create a business plan and strategize their marketing and branding. And but this person also has a big mouth, and I don't know, that was something that I noticed at first, and so I think it has some kind of significance. I think using your mouth, using your voice, is maybe also what would make you famous. I'm going to do some channeling to clarify this card. So, Spirit, can you clarify the Queen of Oysters? Okay, so I'm also getting something about singing. So you're a bit of a variety box. And that's okay. Like it doesn't have to be like a straight line. Nobody's a straight line. So I think you could do anything from chess to singing and performing and being in front of an audience. So so yeah, I think you could become famous by using your voice. I think you have a very good voice. Many of you have a very good singing voice. So that could also make you famous. But I think you could also I think you could accumulate a lot of fame through doing different things. Like who doesn't want like a singer who is also a chess champion? Like that sounds like a very good blend or mix of things. Like sometimes you could like there's, I don't know, like there some people on TikTok and on Instagram, like they write in the bio that they are like they are a model but also a scientist and stuff like that, and that draws attention to them because people find it interesting to follow a model who's also a scientist. It's like a good a good match somehow, like that it draws people's attention. And so yeah, but I'm gonna shuffle some more cards just to get a bit more information. So with the 8 of Cups reversed, I think the skill / talent that would bring you the most fame is your ability to stick with something and see it through. That you're not a quitter. So I think you could actually excel at a lot of things and actually get fame from a lot of different things if you just set your mind to it. And with the 9 of Swords reversed, I think, well, this is someone who is actually holding his hands over his ears because he can't handle the noise of the flamingos, if you look at it. And so this came out reversed. And so I think the fact that people actually enjoy listening to you, enjoy listening to your voice, that you also seem to be in key, or you're in tune, I think. You're not tone deaf, luckily. You're the opposite of that. I think you have a very good ear for a tone ear, a good one. And I think there's also just something about your voice that's very soothing, I think, very, very nice to listen to. And so maybe you could do ASMR too, because I think you have a very, very comfortable voice, and it makes people feel very, very at peace and calm. So you could definitely also get fame from doing ASMR videos. But I feel like you could do a lot of different things and still get fame, or some kind of fame. Like I think there are many of the things like I think you're a very likable person, and so I feel like people would be drawn to you no matter what you do. Like there isn't just one thing that would make you famous. I think you could, like, if you just put yourself out there, if you just make something and put it and publish it and put it out to the world, I think it would, with time. Of course, everything takes time. Fame needs to be built up, and it doesn't happen overnight, or it does happen overnight for some people, but I think the best fame is the fame that comes the fame that builds up over time. It just makes for a lot more loyal following, where you're not that afraid of suddenly losing the following. If they have been following you for years, it's harder to get rid of that sort of following. So I think, but I think you're a very likable person, very charming. I think that is also because of your voice. It's very soothing, and it's very comfortable to listen to. And I think you're also very you have a very undemanding appearance. I think, like, there are some people, like, some that can seem a bit intense, and that can sometimes repel or make people less interested. But I think you don't have that. You have a very I think if you just put things out there, I think it would actually, like, you could get fame for doing something like ASMR or singing videos, or like something where you're singing or using your voice or just speaking about something, because I think you have a lot of very wise things to talk about. Like, you could make crash course or like something like that, on YouTube, like the Crash Course YouTube channel, you could do something similar. I think you have a lot of knowledge, and so I think you could share it, and I think people would listen to it. But I think also if you went into politics, people would listen to you just because of your voice. People, not just because of your voice, that sounded wrong, but like I think people would listen to you more because they feel so comfortable when you talk, and it's like it's very attractive. So I think. And yeah, of course, it might not really help you that much in chess, but again, like I think you could get really far just with your mind if you went and like if you chose something that isn't like a clear path to fame. Like there are like I think you could get fame the harder way, the hard way where you become like where you take a PhD in something and become a professor and then like write a lot of interesting stuff and then get a recognition for the findings and the writings and the yeah, and I think you could go that way, but it probably wouldn't give you the fame, the most fame, you know. Like this reading is about what would give you the most fame, and I think you could get some fame if you became a professor, started doing some very important research that's gonna change the world, like that. Yeah, that you could get famous for changing the world. Of course you could. Some people don't. Some people end up changing the world. Like that's just known in history that many of the people who actually changed the world, they didn't actually get credit for changing the world. Somebody else took credit for it and then like ran with it. And so, and I don't know if that happens that much still, but it kind of still is a bit of a risk of that happening. I'm not trying to make you go on TikTok instead of actually becoming a renowned professor. I'm not really pushing you in another direction. I'm just saying that sometimes, like what I'm getting at in this reading, the conclusion I feel like I'm getting at is that I think if you got into some kind of competition, that like a chess competition, that is like the championship of like kind of the championship of like smartness, or like and then you could get, like if you won that or won the championship in your country, then you would get fame for that. You would be known as the person who is a champion of chess in your country. Then that would be a title, and you could get fame through using your voice, because you have been blessed with a very beautiful voice. Maybe you're not really thinking of using it and having a singing career, because maybe you feel like you would rather use your amazing gift of wisdom and intelligence. And of course you should do what you feel most drawn to, and I think you could make a bigger difference if you went in and used your wisdom and your talents for academia. I think you would maybe get like you would change your field, and you would do it maybe in a way where you would get maybe fame within your field, but it might not be like international fame. And you could also get in politics and get quite far in politics, but it still wouldn't give you international fame, where the fact of the matter is that if you make a very lucky TikTok video, you could end up getting international fame. Like, and that's. But I don't know. But I feel like, yeah, if you want to be a singer, I think you should. If you want to be, if you want to go into competitive chess, that would be a great idea. If you want to go into politics, I think that is. I feel like it might not be the best. I feel, well, there is a good chance of getting fame within your country or within your local area, or if you go into local politics or something like that, you would get. Yeah, I think there is a possibility of. And of course, if you got into politics and got a scandal on you, then you would get fame, and it wouldn't be the best type of fame, but but I don't know it. But yeah, but I feel like I feel like you are more drawn to academia and maybe teaching, and or going into researching something, finding some like looking to solve a mystery, something that hasn't been solved before, or something that that just I don't know. And I think if you're more drawn to doing that, I think you would get a more sense of accomplishment than, and I think you would be more proud of your work, even if you don't get famous for it. But I think you would be mentioned. You would have like people within your field of expertise, and they would know who you are. And so there's that sort of thing, and it would, and sometimes it isn't about the title, or it isn't about having your name be on everybody's mouth, because sometimes it's just such a pleasure to be able to widen something, like a field, like finding out something that actually enriches the thing that you're studying. Like if you study biology and find out something about DNA, something that, or I don't know, something about RNA or something. So it's just, I think it's when it's something that you care about, something that you're passionate about, you just want the knowledge to be you just want to widen biology, make biology greater, make biology wider, instead of necessarily becoming a renowned biologist. Like sometimes it's more about what you can do for the study than what the study can do for you. And so I think you are also kind of, I don't know, but I think you feel that way, or many of you feel that way too, that sometimes there's more to life than fame. So yeah, but I think that's all I have for you. Group number 2. I hope this reading was somewhat helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Sola Busca tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 3? What skill or talent would bring group number 3 the most fame? Okay, so I'm sensing that that you're very good at taking pictures. I think whether you like it or not, I think you could actually become a very good influencer. And so I'm just going to put that out there. I know that maybe some of you feel like you're not really into that thing, but I think Instagram is probably a very good place for you. I think if you don't have an Instagram account already, I think you should make one. If you already have one, I think you should keep using it. And I think you already have some photos on your Instagram, and I think they are very good, very beautiful. I think you're very good at staging a picture and like making everything look good for the camera, and like using the right lighting and the right filters and the right I think you're just very good at taking pictures. And so of course if it's not fame that you're looking for, I think it would actually be a good career choice to go into photography. But since this reading is about fame, I think you would get more fame if you used your skills of photography as an influencer on Instagram, because I think you have a very good sense of capturing a moment. Like I think you're also very good at taking pictures that are like slightly imperfect but fun, and and I think that is maybe the whole the hook here. I think the hook is the imperfect, being able to capture the imperfect in a way that creates beauty, where it's like you see the beauty in the chaos, in something that isn't normally seen as beautiful. But I think you also just post a lot of very, very beautiful pictures. And I think you should keep doing that, because I think at some point you're going to get recognition for it. You're going to start seeing an increase in your following if you just keep doing what you're already doing. Because I feel like many of you are already posting pictures. And I think you have a very good sense of style as well, and decorations. And I think your clothing style is also very good. And I think all that put together, I think you're a good designer as well, or like you're just good at designing outfits. You might even make your own clothes, or maybe some of you do. And maybe, but I feel like you're also just very good at putting outfits together, and even being a bit like being creative with it. And I think you're just I think you could be a very good influencer if you wanted to be that. I think for those of you, I feel like some of you might have an Instagram account and you might have been posting pictures for a while, and maybe you feel like you're not getting recognition, or you feel like you're maybe a bit stuck, like you can't grow your account more than you feel like you might have gotten to the point where you're not really gaining new followers or something. And I feel like maybe another strategy would be to show something more honest, something more like being talking about something that that's difficult to talk about, or something like talking about your story, like something that happened to you, or sharing something that is like that shows people your vulnerability and it makes people. I think that might be the hook, is to draw people in because they have a similar story that as you have, and so they want to follow you because they want to see you grow, because seeing you grow is like seeing themselves grow, because they can mirror themselves in you, and seeing someone reach success who have a similar background as themselves give them hope and makes them feel like, okay, it is actually something that can be achievable. I don't know. I'm just sensing that right now you're posting either. I feel like some of you are posting very beautiful pictures, and it's great. It's very picture perfect. Some of you have the more blend in, where it's perfect, but also some more quirky pictures, or something that isn't completely as it. Like completely perfect, like something with some flaws and some, but it's like your maybe, and I think that is also good. I think having like a blend of imperfect and perfect pictures, that's great, and it's also great to have just perfect pictures. But I think it needs a personal touch either way. I think it needs something where you share something about you, something that is uniquely you. And it could be something like, I think if you're struggling with something like body image, just talking about that could be very could be very powerful, and there is definitely a market for that, for talking about how to about body image and struggling with the way you look, or struggling with your weight, or struggling with things like that. I know it wouldn't be something that is unique necessarily, because there is a lot of people who post content like that on Instagram, but I think it will always be unique because it's your unique story, and it was like it's your unique experience, and you are the only one who has experienced that exact experience. Even if someone has a similar experience as you, they have different eyes than you have. So you might have the same story, but you see things differently still. So it's to share your personal take on body image and how to deal with that will always be valuable, if that is the thing that you have struggled with. But if there's something else that you have struggled with, something that is maybe more of a taboo, or something like like, I don't know, self-harm, or something that has been difficult for you to overcome, or addiction, or something like that. I think somehow using your platform to talk about that sort of thing is going to be powerful. But I also just think posting pictures of things that you might feel slightly ashamed of, maybe things about yourself, your looks, like maybe your parts of your body that you don't like, or that you have always had a problem with. Sharing that on Instagram is of course something that everybody does, or many people do it on Instagram, but I think a lot more people actually show the picture perfect still, even though there is that big wave on Instagram where there's a lot more content about showing imperfections and showing that's, or I don't know about imperfections. It's of course not imperfections, but it's what people are ashamed of, or have been told to be ashamed of, or something like that. So I think it is still a very important message to send to the world, especially the younger children. I think it's a great mission to tag along to the whole body positivity movement. I think it is actually I know a lot of people feel it's toxic, and it's like it does more damage than good, or whatever. I don't feel that way. I feel like it's actually doing more good than it's doing damage. I think it helps younger human beings, like teenagers, and I think it helps them get more peace within their body, feel more peaceful, feel more acceptance of themselves, and feel less ridiculed. I think it could end up actually creating less bullying if it became more accepted to look different. But so I think tagging along on that movement, I think it is actually a valuable thing. I think it actually creates good in the world. But of course, different opinions are always, like, everyone's opinion is equally valid. I don't think my opinion is necessarily the right one. I'm just stating my opinion. So I think if you wanted to tag along to that movement, I think that would be a very good way to maybe gain success or fame, to somehow, like, even if, like, body positivity can be a lot of things. It can be, it can have to do with weight, but it can also be things like body hair, or like being some people feeling ashamed of having hairy arms and having a unibrow, and things like that. I have a unibrow. I've always had one since I was a child, and I know you probably can't see it because of the ring light. It kind of lights it up, so it's actually not that noticeable. But I see it when I look in the mirror. I notice that I have a unibrow, and so I used to pluck it a lot when I was younger. I actually started plucking my eyebrows when I was like 12, and I've done it since, or not since, because I stopped doing it a few years ago. But many years I plucked my eyebrows, and I think if I had an influencer when I was younger, I actually had one. She was not an influencer, but the woman from Baywatch. That helped me a bit throughout my teenage years, to know that there was actually someone in Baywatch with a unibrow. But I think if I had more exposure to it, because I didn't know anyone who had one. None of my classmates had a unibrow, because it's like it's not very common when you're from a country like Iceland or Denmark, that it's less. So I think something like that, where if you have a unibrow, maybe you could use that to actually get some fame, or by posting about it, like taking beautiful pictures of it and embracing it instead of plucking it, just embracing that you have it and that it's beautiful and like something like that. But I just feel like there is, like I think there are many ways for you to get fame, but I feel like it mostly has to do with taking pictures of your everyday life and posting it on the internet. And whatever I feel like you could, just because you have good skills when it comes to taking pictures, I think whatever you take pictures of, it's maybe gonna, like, I don't think there is like one way to fame for you. I think there are plenty of options out there. There are a lot of waves that you can ride. You could ride the body positivity wave, or you could ride the more like the other things about like sharing the stuff that you probably wouldn't want everyone to know. Like if there's something about you that you feel is a bit embarrassing, is something that makes you feel bad about yourself or feel weak or something, maybe you should look at it differently and start seeing how maybe this is the society that has made you feel this way about this. Maybe it isn't actually that embarrassing, and maybe you could actually get famous on speaking out about it and being honest and direct about it. But I am gonna shuffle because I haven't shuffled yet, and so, and I'm, yeah. So, but I'm gonna, So, what skill, talent would bring group number 3 the most fame? Okay, so with the Hierophant reversed, I feel like what would give you the most fame is to do something that isn't traditional or isn't conventional. Something, I think, kind of doing something that is maybe a bit controversial, or not necessarily controversial, but something that, I guess controversial, like the body positivity movement is a bit controversial. It like doing something where you doing something that is also alternative, maybe also spreading some awareness about something that isn't so well known, something that not a lot of people know about, and sharing your experience with it. Maybe also doing some things that are a bit like maybe trying some things out that that are frowned upon, or like something that I don't know. It's but this card here, it also this is also Taurus, and so Taurus. Taurus might have some, or like stereotypically, Taurus has some weight issues. Stereotypically, I know it's generalizing Taurus, but but they enjoy the finer things in life. They enjoy luxury and doing things that are and that yeah, that sometimes has also yeah, like indulging and being and indulging is not necessarily a bad thing. Like so. Like something like sometimes it's nice to like if you got famous on Instagram, like you could have a I feel like there it would be nice to follow someone who enjoys life, and that is something that most people on Instagram like to show, is that they are living life and having fun and experiencing some things and taking pictures of that, and that's like also like the whole blogging thing, like showing people how you live your life, and that can sometimes inspire people to live their life in a not necessarily in a similar way, but living their life with less restriction and maybe less fear of not being accepted or being looked down upon because of their likeness or whatever. I don't know. This is, by the way, also Libra. So it's Libra and Taurus has a bit of a similar energy in that sense. And I don't know if this is like a sign that you should do something, maybe also something with food, like a food channel or a food, like something where you take pictures of the food that you make, or and give people recipes of the food that you make, and maybe also making healthy food, but that also tastes good, or something like that. But I feel like there's I'm gonna move on to this card here. It is five of cups, and with Five of Cups, it's all about maybe seeing, maybe being a like. I feel like maybe what the skill slash talent that would bring you the most fame is maybe that you are very perfectionistic, and I know that this is all about the imperfections and embracing yourself and all of that, and I think I feel like that is a strong message in this group, is that I think you should tag along to some kind of some kind of wave of showing imperfections. But I think the fact that you are very perfectionistic will actually make it easier for you to show your imperfections in a very, very beautiful way and make it actually seem quite perfect, which probably is a very good like that's good. I think that But this is also about water under the bridge, and with the water under the bridge, I think maybe I kind of think of the song where water under the bridge is like some lyrics in a song, and I think you're also very good at choosing music and using the right music. Like if you were to be an Instagrammer or a TikToker or like something like that, I think you would be very good at using the right music and finding the right music for the video or for whatever, and I think that is something you're very good at, and I think you're also very good at finding maybe some rare music that not a lot of people know about, and using it in videos that actually make a lot of sense, and actually getting a lot of giving maybe artists, music artists who don't have a lot of recognition. You could give them recognition by using your fame to promote them, by using their music in your videos, if you did videos on social media. But that is definitely something I feel like is a skill of yours. I think you have a very good ear for music. I think you know exactly what music fits to what kind of video, and I think you could actually do it that way around. Like if you wanted to do TikTok videos, for instance, where maybe you show your outfits or your food or your recipes or something like that. If you wanted to do something, I think you have an idea of what you would want to do if you had a TikTok or an Instagram channel. So I'm not here to give you suggestions that you already have. Like if you already have an idea, then there's no need for me to brainstorm for you. But I think the whatever types of videos that you would do, I think you would be able to get inspiration from music to actually, like by listening to music, you would know, oh, this phrase in the song would make for a very good video about something. I don't know. So I think you could work it that way around, and I think I think some creators also do that. Like take just a phrase from a song and kind of create a scenario with it. But you could do that. I think. So yeah. This person also kind of like, you can see how this person has like one like this person has like socks that go all the way to their thighs, because you can see behind this the socks are going very high up, but on this side it's not as high, and it's like it has fallen down. And so I think if you posted Instagram videos or TikTok videos, I think people would like it, would flock towards you if you showed something a bit more human, like where you might like if you post pictures of the mistakes, like the chaos, like if your living room is completely like if you have a lot of clutter in your living room and you feel like you can't actually take a picture because all the clutter is in the way, then maybe it would be a fresh like it would be a breath of fresh air to kind of see a maybe beautiful perfect picture of someone with some clutter in the background, it might create a bit more of a personal look to it, make it more relatable in a way. And maybe like something where you're not completely where you're not completely decent, but where maybe you're like, maybe sometimes I don't know, it's just something about showing the imperfections. I think you would be good at that. I think you're very good at showing the perfect, because you have such a good eye for beauty. But I think it might be hard for you to do this, because it's like hard to kind of get out of your comfort zone. If your comfort zone is to make these perfect pictures, then it might be hard to rebel against that. But I think maybe you should try to sometimes just mix things up and dare to show some of the pictures that you would have deleted before. Like, yeah. Like, for instance, there's a dog here. Like, so if you have a dog, and if your dog tends to bite through everything, like if your dog gets a toy, your dog might tore it into pieces, and and maybe that would be good fuel for a good picture. Like, it would maybe be something that people would find fresh to kind of see the downside of having a dog, or like seeing that, or maybe taking funny videos of your pets or something, where they might be like, I don't know, it could be so many different things. But I just feel like everything, like sometimes I feel like for some of you might just show the more staged pictures, and maybe it would be good for you to just post some pictures of just your everyday life, things going wrong, like if you overcook your food, like, or something, then that might be a fun picture to post on Instagram, or like and then like add a funny joke to it or something. I don't know, but I'm just, I guess I'm just brainstorming here, but like, but here with the page of Pentacles, I think I think you could also like, this person has different color socks on. Like they have a red sock and a blue sock, and like that. Maybe show pictures where you have different, like, or maybe dare to show unmatching outfits sometimes, just for the heck of it, or maybe make some of those joke outfits that some people do on TikTok. And I know that is not very unique, but like kind of taking the same, like maybe taking a piss on some of those outfit videos where people try to put together an outfit, and it's like, I don't know, I'm just, but I think you could definitely get Insta famous if you wanted that, but if you don't want that, like, I think, everything in photography, designing, decorating, like, you could like also like creative design or graphic design could be something I think you would excel at. You would maybe not get famous for it, but I think you would get successful if you went into any of those. and art, painting, creating beauty in other ways, makeup artist. And I think you could also do makeup on Instagram or TikTok, but you could also work as an as a makeup artist for other people. Wouldn't have to But I feel like if you wanted to become famous, I think you could use your skills, for your makeup skills, and use that to get fame on Instagram. But I still feel like if you went on and made a food channel or a makeup channel or a decorating channel or designing channel or clothing channel or any or body positivity channel or whatever, like I think whatever type of channel you would, I think it's important that you have a clear vision of what your channel should be. But I think it would be good to still, like, even if you made a makeup channel, then using that makeup channel to talk about some vulnerable things, like maybe putting on makeup while talking about something you experienced as a child, or while talking about addiction or self-harm or eating disorders or something, like where you still show vulnerability, because the more you show of yourself, the better. I think that is the hook. The hook is your personal experience in life and what you can tell about your unique experience, your unique story. The more people get to know you, the more they want to follow you, because they feel like you're sharing something of yourself to them. And they feel like they want to know more about you. And so, yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful. And yeah, have a great day and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this Botticelli Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4? What skill or talent would bring group number 4 the most fame? Okay, so I'm sensing commentary, but I'm gonna channel a bit more. So what more? Okay, so I'm sensing commentary and reviews. I think you would get fame. I think you could get some fame in your life if you somehow got into the world of commentary or reviews. I think maybe doing YouTube videos, like review videos where you review some movies or comment on some movies, maybe terrible movies where they are so terrible that they are good, or something like that. And I think, or just talking about how bad some movies are, but I feel like you're very funny. I think you're very good at commenting on things, and I think you could be a very good sports commentator, like do sports commentary, and you could have you could also have a YouTube channel where you do sports commentary, because I feel like you're very good at like saying funny things during like a football match or whatever, like that. I think you're very good at like capturing what everyone's thinking, like somehow being able to blurt out something that is on everybody's mind, but nobody wants to say it. Like, and I think you have a good just a good sense of humor, and can capture some, like, I think you're very I think you're very good at seeing something that also might, like, seeing things in a funny way, like capturing something funny in the mundane, in the everyday things, or like, but I think you could definitely do that with sports commentary, like maybe, yeah, commenting on some, like, yeah, like, I feel there's something about, I know that this doesn't resonate with all of you, because I know that a lot of you watching, you're not interested in sports, but that doesn't matter, because I think you could even become a better sports commentator, like, or yeah, I think you could comment even better on sports, since you don't know much about it, because I think it isn't really required, or at least if you just did YouTube videos where you comment on sports, then that could be a gimmick. That could be even a really cool gimmick, to just watch some sports and have some clips on some where you have something funny to say about different different sports. I don't know. Maybe where you comment on sports and, like, comment completely wrong, and that could be a gimmick too. Like, commenting football commenting on football as a person who has never seen football before, like, or something, and then just making a YouTube video where you watch football as if you had never heard of it before, and kind of just talking about the absurdity of what's going on the field, or something, or misconceptions as someone who like, or something. I don't know it. But it could be a gimmick, but it could also be just, I think for some of you, you actually know about sports, so I think you could just be a regular commenter, like commenting on football because you have some, or comment on sports because you know about sports. So there's definitely that too, But I feel like you could also just do reviews, movie reviews. I think you could make some hilarious movie reviews on YouTube, and TV show reviews, bashing on shows that have gotten really bad IMDb ratings, and or taking shows that have actually gotten a very high IMDb rating and just talking about how shit it is, or something, or but I think I think you're very funny, and I think you in whatever you like. It doesn't really matter what you do, because I think in whatever you do, you would always take your personality with you, and you would always make it funny, and yeah. So. And I think it's just your delivery. You have really good delivery, really good timing. And so I think you should definitely do your jokes audible, like have it voiced out. Because I think you could also do written jokes, like write a book where you just write a funny book. I think that would also be good. A good way to use your sense of humor, but I think the brilliance is within your delivery, and I think that you need to find some kind of outlet, somewhere you can use your comical talents. And I feel like the most accessible way is to do YouTube videos. And so if you start a YouTube channel, or if you already have one, please link it down below so that I can subscribe to it, and that the people watching can also subscribe to it. So just, yeah. Okay, so 5 of Pentacles. So I think I feel like the thing that is the brilliant thing about you is when you're outside your comfort zone, when you are doing something that is not your field of expertise, like if you're really bad at sports, it would be funny if you commented on sports, but anything where I think where you're the outsider looking in, because it's just all about your observational skills. I think you have really good observational skills. You have this great skill of seeing things from the outside, from an objective point of view. Like, you see things clearly in a way where you see like the absurdity. You see that like I think you have the ability to kind of look at the mundane human things that we enjoy doing, and kind of looking at it like an alien from out of space who just set foot on Earth and are just looking at a football game and thinking like, what the hell is going on? What the hell are they doing? Like that sort of thing. I think you're able to kind of take that perspective and kind of run with it and go far with it. Like taking the joke also to a point where it's like, where taking it further and further and further. I think you're just very good at making jokes, and making something funny, and making something, yeah, and also just observational humor. I think you're very good at that. I think you could be a very good comedian as well. So I'm going to shuffle a bit more about what skill/talent would bring you the most fame. I'm actually not going to go with these cards, but I'm going to shuffle some of these archetype cards instead, just to get a bit more mystic. Okay, so a kind of a bit of a different energy here, but still kind of cool. So I think you could also use your skill of observational humor, your skill of delivery, your skill of timing, your skill of commentary and reviewing, and seeing things from the outside perspective, and from like, and being a bit of like, you could use that also as a mystic, without like, even I guess you're probably like, if you're into the spiritual community, you might still feel like a bit of an outsider within the spiritual community. Like maybe you feel like some of the things within the spiritual community are things that you don't think make sense to you, or where you find it a bit absurd. And you could use also you could comment on spirituality. You could review different types of spirituality, or something like that. And use your sense of humor, to kind of make light of it in a way where it's still respectable, but where you can you are always in the liberty to say whatever is on your mind, and there is always free speech. So if there's something that you find a bit ridiculous about the spiritual community, there isn't anyone who can stop you from kind of sharing your opinion. And I bet there are a lot of people who feel the same way, and might just feel like it's hard to speak your mind about things like that, because of course it's hard to go against some people and kind of say that what they are practicing is maybe some aspects of it is a bit absurd, and it is a touchy subject, and I kind of feel like it is a bit of a minefield. And so if you want to go down that road, you could get fame from it, but I'm kind of afraid that with this card here, because I didn't quite like I'm a bit nervous because I didn't specify the fame. I didn't, like, in the question I didn't really specify that it should be good fame, or like, because you can get fame from saying something that will be misunderstood by people, or where people will get angry over it. So there is that part where I feel like if you said something about, like, yeah, for instance, I've said it in some readings. I guess I don't really understand with some people in the spiritual community that they believe both in reincarnation and speaking to ghosts. And I know that it isn't really the opposite. Like, I know it's not two opposite beliefs that are completely in conflict with each other. I know that, like, yeah, with the reincarnation, like, there is that a time period before you get reincarnated, and I guess people believe that in that time period, the 7 days or whatever, from going from one reincarnation to the other, that you can speak to the ghost while they are in the transitioning towards going into, or while in the reincarnation or transitioning to the next reincarnation. I don't know, but so I guess it is possible, but it's kind of silly that some people believe that they are reincarnated, and that I have had people ask me questions in personal readings. I'm sorry that I'm disclosing this, but where they wanted to know about whether they were a goddess in previous life, but they also wanted a message from their grandmother who died 30 years ago or something like that. It doesn't really add up, though. Like, but because either you believe in reincarnation, or you believe in the fact that we all end up in a spiritual world, where after in our afterlife. But there are some people who can't see that it's conflicting in a way, and I feel like I'm kind of roasting some people and kind of putting a negative spin on this reading, and I'm very sorry that if I am, but I feel like, yeah, now I'm kind of in the same, like you can tell by maybe this reading, like if you have some thoughts about doing something similar, like speaking out about some inconsistencies within the spiritual community, then like maybe walk a bit wisely within it, like go a bit like quietly with the doors, like don't make it too, like, yeah, just be thoughtful, because you can probably see that I might get some negative comments because I said this, and so maybe that can serve as a bit of a like proof that it's maybe sometimes a bit of a bad idea to say something like that, because people will always feel like yeah, like I have bad intentions with what I say, or but yeah, it is what it is. So if you have, like, just know that maybe the spiritual community just doesn't have that great of a sense of humor after all. But like, and maybe it isn't all of, like, sometimes it's also just about like a lot of other groups of people have an ability to make jokes about themselves and kind of take themselves less seriously. But within the spiritual community, there are a lot of people taking this very seriously and taking themselves very seriously within it, and feeling very violated whenever people have something bad to say about some inconsistencies in their beliefs or something. And it is what it is. But yeah, it's but I am gonna, like, you know what, I'm gonna act like that card didn't really happen, because I kind of felt like this was such a fun reading before, with the whole movie reviews and sports commentary, and like I thought it was like and comedy making. I think that's just great. It's but okay, with the Seeker card, I think, okay, so this card says thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are, and I think that what you can also get a lot of fame for is the fact that you're a seeker. You seek out knowledge, you seek out information, and I think you could also use that, like, if you wanted to spread awareness about something, but I think it's mostly the fact that I think you can speak about any topic, and you could do it in a funny way, where people listen because you're very funny and likable. And I think if you spoke about something that is maybe even a bit hard for people to digest, or like something that is very smart, or like something, or not smart but very technical or very advanced, or something like that, then maybe you would be very good at teaching people something, quite advanced, because you're very good at, I think you're very good at spreading and also delivering not only jokes, but also just delivering truths and things that you have also just experienced, like delivering what you know to people and doing it in a way that they can actually digest. So I think you could also do a tarot channel, because I think you could be very funny too. Like, you could make videos where you maybe seek out knowledge from the other side, share it with people in a funny way. And yeah, make people laugh. And sometimes it's also sometimes it's just the small things, like making someone laugh, like that is an accomplishment in itself. That really means something. So I think you could also have a very, like, that could be your competitive edge in a way, where, like, I think of course, if you started a tarot channel, or if you already have one, you're competing against a lot of people who also have a tarot channel, and you're competing against me and against like, we're a lot, but I don't think we're, like, it's not a competition. It's not about, like, who has the most followers. It's about delivering messages and delivering the right messages to the right people. So like, yeah, but I think so of course it is hard when you do the same thing as everybody else, and you might feel like you're actually doing okay in the terms of accuracy. Then it is it might be good to have that extra, like something extra that makes you special, makes you stand out from everyone else. And I think that is maybe your sense of humor. And if you haven't used it yet, if you haven't made it your, like, of course it's very hard to use humor in a tarot reading because you're already so fixated on channeling information, or like getting information from the cards, reading the cards right, so that some of the tarot readers in the commentary might not get mad because there's always a professional out there who knows more about tarot than you do, and and so it is hard to also have the funny aspect into it, and it's sometimes humor is just not the first priority, and it is hard to really focus on all these things at once, but I think you can do it. I think you can do it, and so I think you should. I think you should definitely use that. Use your delivery. Use the fact that you have good comedic timing, and yeah, don't be afraid of saying something offensive. Sometimes it happens, but then you get some hate comments, and then you deal with that, and that it isn't as serious as that. Even though there will maybe come more hate comments and positive comments about that joke or whatever, then I will tell you that more people laughed at it than people hating on it. Like, people will always but the ones laughing at it might not tell the others or comment that they laughed about it, because they don't want to seem like because that is kind of putting a target on their back if they comment that they actually liked that joke. So just know in your gut that people actually found it funny. So I don't know, but I'm gonna shuffle up one more card about what skill / talent would bring you the most fame. Okay, so 7 of Cups. I think the fact that you're a dreamer. I think you are also slightly more I think you see things from a kind of rare perspective, to the point where it's like people might wonder where you get it from. Like, you might sometimes see things from like you might see things upside down, and like your first thought might sometimes vary from other people's first thought, even though most of us kind of often has the same first thought when we see something, or like our first thought is usually very general and very collective, but then like we have like this afterthought that makes us us, like that is clouded by our experiences, how we grew up and all of that. Then it's more customized to our person as an afterthought, but our first thought is collective usually. I feel like your first thought is actually not collective, but it is what the collective would want it to be. So even if you say something and then people notice right away and they find it so funny and they might relate so much to it that they might tell you that, oh, that was what they thought too, like, or that was their first thought too, even though it might not have been, but they want it to be. And so it's I don't know why that was an important detail about it, but I feel like I think you see things from a funny perspective, you notice things that other people don't notice, and then you can point it out so that people feel like I don't know, it's just you're very, very observational, and you can kind of see how some people like if you see a dog, you might feel you might say something like that it looks like an actor or something, and then people look at it and then they're like, holy shit, you're right, like that. How did you notice that? Like, because when they look at it, they can see it, but they didn't think of it themselves. And so I think you're just very good at being funny, just naturally funny. It's a great skill. It can get you far in anything you do, really. And it also can get you far in tarot reading, because a lot of because it's picture based. So there's also always something funny to find in the pictures. So that can also be very interesting to see you maybe seeing how I don't know, I can't do it because you're the good one at this, but but that's definitely a White Walker. So there is always something to find in the pictures, something that people don't notice right away, but then like when you point it out, well, yeah, that's what it looks like. And I think you can do that. You can easily make it very interesting, make a tarot reading very interesting, because you can create layers to it. And that's all tarot reading is about, is creating layers, more layers. And so, yeah. It's also about fortune telling and stuff like that, but it's also about creating layers, I guess. But yeah, but I think that's all I have for you. Group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose this tarot deck, the Cook's Tarot, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So, Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 5, the people who will choose group number 5? What skill or talent would make group number 5, would bring group number 5 the most fame? Okay, so I'm sensing that for many of you, it's singer-songwriting. I think you're very good at singing. And I think you just have a very good sense of what sounds good and what doesn't. And I think that would make you a very good songwriter, because I think you have like a very good ear for music. But I'm also sensing something else here. I'm sensing that others of you are very good with languages, and I think that could also get you very far, because I think you could do educational videos on YouTube or something like that, where you share your techniques and tools to learning languages. I think you might have learned a few languages in your life, and so maybe you have a lot of experience with it. So you have developed some kind of technique maybe to learning it more efficiently, like learning languages more efficiently. And I think you could definitely get some recognition for that, like get a following, because people are interested in, of course, there's always going to be an audience for people who are learning new languages. That is never gonna die out. Like there's always going to be an audience for that. And so I think there might also be something you could do, like an app or something. Like if you're very technologically skilled, if you're skilled at technology, maybe you know how to create an app, or maybe you know someone who knows how to create an app, but you could maybe create an app about how to learn new languages or something like that. And I think you would be quite good at it, and I think you could get some fame from and recognition from developing a tool that could help people learn languages. But I'm also sensing something about vocal coaching, and teaching people how to do different noises, or different characters, or like impersonating different characters with your voice. You could maybe do that too. Like maybe you can say voice, like maybe you can change your voice into sounding like different cartoon characters. And maybe if you did some videos about it, like on TikTok or something, that could probably get some recognition. You might also, like, some of you might be female growlers, like you might be able to growl. And if you can do that, maybe you should do some YouTube videos about that, because I think I don't know if there's necessarily a hole in the market, but I feel like maybe there aren't that many female growlers who do tutorial videos. So maybe you could also do that if you are a female growler, if you're a female and you can growl. Then you might have developed some kind of technique to do that. And I think you could share that technique with others on the internet and get a following out of that. But also, like, okay, so with the Five of Wands reversed, I feel like you could also get fame by dancing, like maybe maybe you're very good at dancing, like maybe you used to dance a lot, like maybe you were like in dancing classes, like maybe swing dance or something, and maybe you're very good at that, at swing dance or some kind of traditional dance. You could even maybe try to compete professionally if you grew up with with dancing, or if you have taken a lot of classes in dancing, and so you might feel very confident in your own abilities to dance. Maybe you could go into the whole dancing field, competitive dance. You could also use the skills that you have accumulated over the years of going to dancing classes and use it on TikTok or something like that by making dancing videos. And maybe your dance videos would even be maybe competitive compared to some of the other TikTokers, maybe because you actually have a lot of experience with dance. I feel like some of you have a lot of experience with dance, and so I think it would be a good idea for you to just go further with it, and share it to the world. I feel like there are a lot of roads here. Like this is there are a lot of roads to fame here, and I'm just gonna try to cover them all. I feel like you know which ones that you fit into, because these are very specific roads that, like, you know if you're a good singer, and you know that, like, then you know that is the road for you to fame, and you know if you're a good dancer, then that is the road for you. And you know that if you're a language enthusiast and have a lot of skills when it comes to learning different languages, then you know that's your road. Like, so I think you I think you know. So yeah. But yeah, it's a bit of a chaotic variety box here, but yeah. With the 8 of Cups here, I feel like the skill that one of the skills that would bring you the most fame is also your footwork, your because this image here, this illustration here, shows the feet only, and so there is something about your footwork, like maybe in dancing, like I think you have very good sense of moving your feet. Yeah. I'm also I'm gonna read some of these other cards that also came through. Okay, so with the Tower here reversed, I feel like the Tower, when it's upright, it's a tower that's about to fall down. It's a tower that has been hit and is shaking and kind of about to collapse. And this card was reversed, and so I think you're the tower in this analogy, and I feel like you're the skill that would bring you the most fame is that you can't fall down, that you can't be hit, or if you get hit, you don't fall. And that could also have to do with dancing. And I think you have a good balance too. But this could also be symbolically, like it could be that you one of your biggest or the skill that's gonna take you, gonna bring you the most fame is your resilience. The fact that you don't fall down just because you get some criticism, or like that you have a very good sense of who you are and what you can do. And so if people criticize you, especially if you feel like it's not justified, then I think you just feel like that person just doesn't know what they're talking about. So I think you're very good at rubbing it off, like that or like shaking it off you and not letting it get to you. And so I think that is definitely something that would be very good to have if you get actually famous, to be able to ignore the haters and not let them get to you. And I think you have that ability to move on. And with the Star card, I feel like you have a lot of star quality. Like you're very likable, and you have a great personality. People like you instantly. You have a. I feel like you also make a very good first impression on people. Like people want to get to know you better, and if you became a public figure, I think that would be very helpful, because people would want to follow you, because they would want to know what's going to happen next. What are you going to post next? And like, I think with the Death card, I feel like you're I feel like the skill that's going to bring you the most fame is your ability to transform yourself, the ability to take on the next chapter in your life, and I feel like you're never boring, because you're always doing something different. You're always taking on a new journey, and I think, but I feel like also with the Death card, maybe you also have a great skill at talking about death, or maybe talking about, or maybe writing about death, like writing songs about death, or something like that. Like if you wanted to be a singer-songwriter, or like, yeah, then I think maybe taking up some of the harder topics, like the more vulnerable, difficult topics to talk about. I think that could definitely bring you a lot of fame. But also, like, with if you can growl, then maybe death metal could be a good way to use your voice, growling voice, getting into that scene, like trying to find someone who can get that. Like, even if you're like, yeah, I was talking about female growlers before, but like, even if you're a male and you are very good at growling, I think you could definitely get famous if you just maybe went to some of those, like if you started like if you became a member of some of those groups on Facebook where bands are searching for members, and if you go on one of those groups and say that you're a vocalist and you can growl and you would like to find a band to sing in, I think maybe you could find a band and get famous through that pursuit. So but I definitely feel like you have a lot of star quality, and so whatever you do, I think it will bring you success nonetheless. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful. And if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 6. You chose this Dagsson's the deck Playing Cards. And this is not a tarot deck, but I'm going to use it as a tarot deck in this reading. But I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 6? The people who will choose group number 6. What skill or talent would bring group number 6 the most fame? Okay, so I'm sensing that it's just your personality, really. I think you have a great personality. I think in whatever you do, you would get some kind of recognition, because I think you have but I think you're already kind of doing something. Maybe you're already doing videos on YouTube or something, but I feel like if you really wanted some more fame, like if you, then the way to do it is to be more vulnerable. Show more of yourself. Be more like naked, but not naked, but like with your personality, showing your personality in a naked form, so that nothing is being hidden away, but where you can show everything that you are. Like, and that also is like, that also has something to do with showing your humor, sense of humor, like not masking your humor, where maybe you have a sense of humor that's hilarious, but maybe you have been masking it your whole life because maybe at some point you felt like some people didn't get it, or some people didn't appreciate the jokes, and so maybe you stopped using this sense of humor, and maybe you chose to like leave that sense of humor and then adopt a more conventional sense of humor that was more digestible to people, and maybe the sense of humor that you used to have, the original one, would have been hilarious, and maybe it's all about kind of getting back to that. But I also just feel like being more you, more authentically you. I think you are authentic already, but I think it would just push it a bit further if you showed your more untouched version of yourself. The more the good and the bad and the ugly, and because I feel like people just fall in love with your personality, but it's not great if you're masking some of it. Like if you're taking some of it, because it's like it's robbing people from the experience of actually getting to know the real you, and the real you is just hilarious, I feel like. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say about group number 6. Okay, so with the Joker card, which is it's a Joker. So I'm just gonna read it as what it is, and it's someone who is shooting himself in the dick, and I feel like you're very funny, and I think you might have a lot of self-deprecating humor, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like not necessarily. Maybe somebody made you feel that way at some point, that it was self-sabotage or something, or that maybe somebody made you feel less than because of it. I don't know. But there's like the funniest people are like the funniest people can make jokes about themselves, and it's those people like that. That's the greatest types of people. I think it's lovely when someone can when people don't take themselves too seriously. It's one of the more charming qualities that a person can have, I feel like, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. That's also why Chandler is known to be one of the funniest characters that has been in a sitcom. Like, and I think so with the Ace of Cups here, it says love, but there's a Reaper on the card. Might speak to a duality within you that could also be a part of the comical side of you, that you might have a bit of a negative form of humor, like or a bit of a morbid type of humor. Like that you might make some jokes about death and marriage being a death sentence, or like something like that, even though that's not funny, but like something in that category. That, but yeah, yeah. So I think you have a bit of a dark sense of humor, a bit of a morbid sense of humor, a bit of like a. And I think that you could have a bit of an edgy sense of humor, which is very like very 90s, and I think that's cool. I think a lot of that is coming back, like the yeah. I don't know. I also got a sense that some of you might be Irish, or like I know that's specifically for some of you, but if you're Irish, then I think you're just. I think you have a great, like I think many Irish people have a great sense of humor. I know it's a stereotype. I know it's generalizing. It's very generalizing. But I feel like there's just something Irish about you, and that is a good. I feel like that's a compliment, especially when we are talking about like comical sense, comedian sense, or like the being able to see, like, yeah. I don't know. It's. But also, yeah. So with the pain deer reversed, kind of a nonsensical card, but it's yeah. It's just reindeer, just with pain instead. It is what it is, but it's. King of Cups. So. And it's reversed. So I feel like you have I feel like one of the things that could bring you fame is definitely your maybe your lack of sensitivity, and I say that in the most like positive way, or the most positive way as I possibly can, because I feel like it might be your competitive edge in a way, because it's like you have to be kind of like, if you want to be a comedian, I feel like you could. I feel like you're that funny. I think, and I think you should especially get that, get back to the more unmasked humor that you had before. You felt like you had to kind of change yourself in order to be more conventionally funny. I think you should go back to your original style and just believe in yourself, and believe in the content that you make, and believe that there is going to be an audience for it, and that maybe it's not actually that amazing to reach a too broad audience, because if you are going for a broader audience, it usually can, like you can end up being flushed out, because you're trying to make something that appeals to everyone, and then at some point it ends up appealing to no one, because you're so fixated on appealing it to a broader audience. That sometimes it's okay to follow a niche, and I think that will actually get you a bigger fan base to follow your intuition and go for the sense of humor that seems a bit odd to some people or seems a bit offensive to some people, but you find it hilarious and other people will too. And but of course, what I was saying was that maybe your lack of sensitivity, like that is a good thing in comedy, because as a comedian, sensitivity could end up making sure that some jokes doesn't get said. Like if you're too sensitive, but if you're slightly a bit, just a tiny bit insensitive sometimes, then that is just what's needed in order to get the joke out there, because you wouldn't get it out there unless you had that small, tiny lack of sensitivity. Like, if that makes sense. I think you could also do writing, like do some satirical books, or like or writing books like that, like I don't know. Could maybe also do comic books if you wanted to. I feel like you could. I feel like it is your, like, what's interesting about you is your personality and your sense of humor. And your sense of humor is, I feel like that is maybe the top thing that really is that really gets people. Like people really get drawn to that. It really, and I think you could use that and get it and get that bread, and I think you should just go for it. Like find a platform and just start making jokes. And I know it might be a bit harder than it seems, but it's, yeah, I think you already have a lot of jokes, and yeah, I'm gonna shuffle one more card. I'm actually gonna go with these archetype cards instead. I feel like you could also go into doing heavy metal, but making it funny. Like just writing really funny lyrics that can't be heard. That's kind of the sad thing with heavy metal, is that the lyrics never get, never is like audible. Like it's not. It's so maybe good lyrics are maybe wasted on heavy metal. So maybe I'm gonna go a bit like I'm gonna. Yeah, but you could do that. Like I don't know. Like maybe you could do heavy metal that it can actually be understood in some capacity. I was just thinking about the Reaper here, so that kind of made me think about heavy metal, or death metal and stuff like that. But Okay, so with the Saboteur and the Liberator, kind of beautiful, beautiful blend of two energies here. Yeah, I think what the skill that could bring the skill or talent that could bring you the most fame is that you're both like that you're good at like I guess you're a good saboteur, and sometimes that like yeah, self-deprecating humor can be considered sabotage, like I said before, but like self-sabotage. But I think that is like the self-sabotage is maybe one of the things that can actually give you the most fame, because making jokes about yourself, like people like that. People like to like yeah, it. And with a Liberator, like I feel like there's something about freedom here, like freedom of speech. I think you could get fame automatically by really trying out your freedom of speech and see how far you can actually go with freedom of speech. I wouldn't recommend going too far, but kind of maybe questioning status quo of what we can and can't say could make for an interesting gimmick, or something that you could do that could attract attention to you, both in a positive and negative way. People would probably be really supportive of you for using your freedom of speech, while other people will probably have a negative opinion about it. But it's sometimes the things that actually create a difference in the world are those things that divide people. Yeah. So definitely feel like you should use. I think if you wanted fame, do it through comedy or something in that category. Comedy, satire. Yeah. Because I think you're also very likable, and I think just be yourself. I think people would like that the most if you were just yourself, because you're a very funny person. You don't have to impersonate anyone or mimic anyone. Like you have it all just inside of you. It just needs to be let out. And I think, but I think that's all I have for you. Group number 6. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was helpful, then please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 7. You chose the Alcohol Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 7, the people who will choose group number 7? What skill or talent would bring group number 7 the most fame? Okay, so I feel like many of you are quite athletic. or that you have, like, I think you have a very good sense, like a very good body intelligence. I think you're very good with your body. You're very good at sensing your body and sensing your body's limits. And so I think you could become a very good athlete if you wanted to. Maybe some of you aren't athletes right now, but I think if you actually got into it, I think you would actually have a great shot at actually competing with in sports or athletic sports. Because I feel like you have a very good muscle build up, or the way that your muscles are, like the way that your body is proportionate. Like there's something about the proportions of your body. It seems like it could be very helpful in competitive sports to have your particular body build up, or the not body build up, body built. I think that's just the build of your body, and so if you went into competitive bodybuilding or sports or athletic sports, I think you would get very far. I think also lifting and and that sort of thing. I also think your upper your arms are, like, I don't know if you are built in a way where your arms have more like that they store more fat than other parts of your body, and that could be very helpful in building muscle in your biceps. So I'm gonna shuffle a bit more about this. What skill / talent would bring you the most fame? With the Four of Wands, which is Four of Cups. I feel like I feel like you're very restrictive, and you have a lot of discipline, which would make you a very good candidate for sport, because I think you're very good at restricting yourself, good at discipline, knowing when to, like, yeah. Yeah, I think you're very good with your body, and I feel like you also have a very good feeling of balance and yeah, I feel like you have a good balance too. So with the Two of Wands here, I feel like you have also just a very good core. And even if you don't exercise your core that much, I think you just have a naturally strong core. And I think that would definitely help you if you wanted to go into that field of sports and fitness and gym, some gymnastics, even like anything where you use your body as like and push it to the limit. I think you're very good at pushing yourself to the limit. And with the Knight of Daggers, which is Knight of Pentacles, I feel like you're very good at also, like, I think you have a good, both a good temper or temperament, but yeah, I also just feel like you have a good, like, you have a good patience, I think, and I think that is very important if you want to be an athlete. I think probably many of you don't want to be an athlete, but for those of you who wants to be an athlete, I think that is just brilliant, because those who don't have the patience, they try out the easy ways. Like they try the easy way out, and that's like taking steroids or something like that. And I feel like you're just someone who wouldn't do that, because you don't want to cheat the game. You want to play the game honestly. And I think you also have the patience for that. Like if you were to get into competitive sports, I think you would never do anything that is illegal or frowned upon. I think you would do everything with discipline and patience and endurance. And so, yeah, I think that is definitely something that could get you a lot of fame, just to go into competitive sports, but also having a fitness channel on YouTube or something like that could probably also get you a lot of fame if you did exercise videos where you teach people how to exercise different parts of their body. It's kind of odd that it's this group where it's the alcohol tarot and like it's all beer and stuff like that, and it's kind of, but I guess like even if you are very serious about fitness and want to start a YouTube channel where you show some exercises, that doesn't mean you can't also have a fun life with partying and stuff like that. Maybe not if you went into competitive sports, but maybe you don't even want that. But maybe a fitness channel on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram would maybe be the choice that you could make, where you don't have to sacrifice a lot of the things that you like in your life. And like if you didn't want fame, like if you don't want that sort of big fame, I think you would be very happy with like doing like there are other career options that I see for you that could be very good options for you, like physical therapy, like helping people help people get in touch with their body in the same way as you are in touch with your body, because you have that body intelligence, and it is actually a great big deal. Like not a lot of people have body intelligence, or they have body intelligence, but it's not as like strong or like so so if you could teach them how to be more in touch with their body, sense more what their body needs, and push their body more to the limit that is more like, yeah, sometimes we don't push ourselves to the limit because we think we're doing like we're afraid of our body getting too much stress or something, but if we get completely in touch with our body and really feel what our body needs and what our body is capable of, then we won't have that fear of overdoing it, because we can sense it when we are overdoing it. And I think if you could help people get that sense too, by through physical therapy, or through maybe even like like, I know with physical therapy you probably don't talk that much about that, like you just do the do some other things, but like also something like energy healing, Reiki healing, but it's a different kind of field, and I don't really know if it fits that well in this context. But I feel like you do have a very good sense of other people's bodies as well. Like, yeah, I think you have a good way of touching different muscles and knowing exactly what that muscle needs in order to I think you're very good at also sensing what needs to be done in order to detangle some muscle strings or whatever, and figure out some ways to get rid of like a bad whatever crick in or whatever something. I just feel like you're good with your hands also. Like, you have healing hands. I think you could be a very good masseuse. But in terms of fame, I think using what you know about fitness, I think you could share that on a platform like Instagram, and probably get quite famous if you did tutorials on how to lift, or how to do different exercises, how to exercise different muscles, and kind of making it more accessible for normal people. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 7. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye.